This show is brought to you by Kosta's Greek Eatery and Pizzeria.
Hold the mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim fram sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
We're on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Lunchbox. We're here, a remote edition at Top Round.
A little confusion here to start things out, though, due to a couple of technical snafus. Lubie's working on it, though.
It's just the internet's not great.
It's not a remote show without a little bit of a roll of the dice. I'm Mike Mayo. This is Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We're live, hopefully, and not freezing up and going.
I think we're okay, man. You just have to go as if
I'm going as if nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And again, here with Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz.
Yes, sir.
Top Round sandwiches, roast beef joint, other things, burgers, hot dogs, like anything that you want for the lunchtime, and especially anything you want if you're trying to eat 50 sandwiches in a month.
I'm glad you wore the shirt.
That's the reality. I mean,
is this the second edition
you're like
of the
loading
shirt?
it up.
Because the first one probably doesn't fit anymore. So you've been brilliant all month long. And I do have to say right away, you start out with a cherry Coke, the old cherry Coke, and it reminded me of the old days. We used to go into, our place was a Briar Patch. Where was yours in Brooklyn? Where it was like a soda fountain, ice cream shop, cigar store, whatever you wanted in there. You could make a bed in there.
Well, we had,
it was great.
we had these luncheonette counters all over in Brooklyn, and
they made the sodas.
especially under the subway stop at Kings Highway, where I had to go to every day to go to my high school because I went to this specialized high school in Manhattan, and they made the greatest egg
Special
creams.
education? You were involved in that early on. Doesn't surprise me.
I was special. It was the Kings Highway station. They made egg creams under there. They made lime rickeys where they would squirt the cherry soda. Did I get the text? Come on. Oh, well, we're going a little slow. I'm trying to I'm stalling. I'm called stretching.
Because you're around the courthouse, so they naturally shut down the internet.
I don't know if you're getting service, but
I'm trying to get the link so we could get us streaming up on the Let's Eat South Florida group before I could go into the whole big spiel about Top Round and Dave and Stacy. They're the owners, proprietors here. I am. Let's see if I got this. I don't got that. I don't know what's happening, but that's okay. We could we'll wing it. We'll do it live.
It's all good.
Defo,
you know what? You get what you get in this show. One thing, I was going to say about the cherry Coke, though. I remember when I used to squirt the cherry syrup into the Coke, and that was always a big highlight there. And you would hope that the guy would, not be too sparing with, the whole deal and really juice it up. And then, speaking of old school here, Mike Mayo, the prices on the board here, are those legit, or do you have to put a 1 in front of them? Because, really, for the kind of stuff they're putting out and the reputation, can't wait to try some of this stuff. Very reasonably priced.
Yeah, it's funny because they use top quality product here. The roast beef, they roast it fresh daily, the Top Round. Interesting story. And we'll talk with Dave in the second segment. He's gonna, I think, try to slaughter me with sandwiches, like most people.
Everybody's trying to kill you. It's interesting. And who is this lovely young lady that is the sports editor of the Sun Sentinel?
And it was great because I put a little bit of line on the a post on Let's Eat South Florida this morning about we're going to be out here, come on by. And who drops by but Kathy Laughlin, the sports editor of the Sun Sentinel.
Is the office still downtown?
I worked with a long time. No, there's no presence at all of the Sun Sentinel.
No building anymore?
Soon it's going to be a ghost newsroom. It used to be right across the street here on Broward Boulevard, and everybody would dash into this complex for lunch. And then they moved all the newsroom facilities up to the printing plant at Deerfield Beach, where your New York Post is printed every day. I know you won't spend money on the Sun Sentinel, but you'll spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
Probably a dime a year.
It's crazy to me that I'm going to buy you as a gift the $18 2-year digital special, because I can't stand it anymore. The fact that
there are certain habits.
You have to
who wants to read the paper? This is not a newspaper. This is like a cell phone from the old days of.
This is called the 21st century, Defo. And
honestly.
Well, anyway, we're on streaming now on the Facebook group, which is a good thing.
That's
good.
Yeah.
We're at Top Round. Dave and Stacy, David Chesal, old time deli guy. He's a member of the tribe. Like us. He has, besides the roast beef sandwiches, and I was saying in New York besides the luncheonette where he got all the different kind of sodas and the shakes and the custards and things like that. It's a roast beef sandwich joint that he first discovered when he was in California. So it's kind of a franchise of a very small brand that hasn't really expanded much yet. And he brought it to Fort Lauderdale because he loved the sandwiches. He had it out in L.A. Now, where I grew up in Brooklyn, we had 2 really good roast beef sandwich joints. And one of them was called Brennan and Carr. It's a little wooden shack that's been around since the Depression, where very working class, and people go in and they get their roast beef sandwiches, and they have a big trough of au jus. It's not a little dish of au jus.
Nice.
It's a big trough, and these guys, they have their tongs, and they just say, you want a single or double, and a single dip is just one side. A double, they dunk the whole thing in there.
Oh, wow.
And it comes out like a squishy sandwich. Talk about squishy.
But that wouldn't be your bag, I wouldn't think.
Not typically. I use a
penchant for crunchy.
I was a single dip guy. Again, roast beef sandwich is a different ball game from the usual sandwich. I'm not looking for crunch. I'm looking for pillowy comfort. Kind of like how you needed a hug this morning.
Yeah, he needed it.
I didn't need a hug. I was right about all of it. I really was.
And let's get into that before we get into the food and the roast beef sandwiches.
You had me at the roast beef, but
Roland Roaster.
Conventional roast beef is like a roast beef on rye.
Not rye. No, this is on a bun.
Okay, or it could be a Kaiser roll, an onion roll. I mean, but that was the way that I was used to having it, and not necessarily an au jus job. Well, that was only for hot roast beef.
Well, this is a hot roast beef sandwich.
Okay. All right.
So Brennan and Carr, and then the other one, which was the big competition, was called Roland Roaster in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. I don't know if you remember. They used to have a lot of commercials on.
I must have been there
on the local stations, and I still hear that jingle in my head.
What was it?
We're not so fast, rolled and roaster. We're not so fast, rolled and roaster. Taking the time to do it the right way, or something like that.
I've never heard of that.
Well done. I mean, you're not going to win karaoke night with that, but
it's better than my version of Roxanne in the in Nagano that caused
It's good we're here though, because I mean, just looking at the menu, and I heard some of the suggestions.
It's filling up for the lunch.
Nice crowd.
And I don't know if we're ever going to get Dave on the air because he's slammed at the register.
They have everything here though, and it's great. And because you have ventured to go ahead and annihilate all of the parameters of the Food and Drug Administration guidelines for caloric intake in any given day.
What are we drinking? Tell me that's just
I can't believe you're going to finish this off with a milkshake.
Is that a milkshake already?
I'm drinking 2 sets plain because I got to conserve my calories for where it counts, which is the sandwich.
Are you going to have the chili dog? I mean, I know that's not counting.
I ordered
officially.
a little bit of everything. And
how's the chili cheeseburger here? Have you ever had that?
Well, I ordered a pastrami burger for Lubie to try because it's excellent. I mean,
never
you
had
don't
that.
think it's
You like that?
It's something that you think is a little over the top. I'm usually not into double meats.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
It has pastrami on a burger.
Yes.
Pastrami on a burger along with his Provolone cheese. Provolone cheese is not provolone.
So it's not provolone.
It's not provolone. It's a specialty cheese that comes out of St. Louis that they use on their brick pizzas from St. Louis.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Provolone cheese is a different Midwestern product. It's very interesting. You know, you learn things every day that you.
Yeah, that's why I love the show.
Provolone cheese. I just thought they ran out of letters on the side.
I was like, yeah, is it that it's too small for provolone?
Like nobody called it provolone because this is like not an Italian place. So hey, yeah, let me have the provolone.
It's a more mild cheese than provolone, and I could be making all this stuff up now, but it
sounds good though. I mean, that's how you got by 31 years at the Sun Sentinel, Mr. What is that? Chuck and Dive magazine superstar?
No, that's City and Shore.
City and Shore.
Pick up a copy, and if you do, send one to me because I haven't seen a hard copy of it. But people have been singing the praises of this, feature story. I thought it was going to be a little one paragraph, like, oh, Mike Mayo, we've seen him on the side of the street begging for sandwiches.
We'll work for food. It was your latest sign.
We'll work for sandwiches.
We'll eat for lunch, or we'll eat for work, or something like that.
You're just as likely to be on Andrews and Third pretty soon with a sign yourself.
Honestly.
One step away the way the show's going so far.
So this is the Lunchbox. We're at Top Round. Come on out. It's right at the corner of Broward Boulevard
filling up, man.
And Federal Highway in
Sharp
downtown.
In here too, man.
Yeah,
Sharp
no, this got
nice.
It's funny because this when they first opened, they were figuring that this whole business, the office buildings around. Then the pandemic hit, and the office life has been slow to return, but it looks like, there is some life downtown now where there is a workforce that comes out during
Stroke
the
of
lunch
12,
hour.
and everybody was here.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's what it was like, pre-pandemic. And it's good to see some life in here.
Well, what's your go-to thing? Now, you've been here, obviously.
Because you come here a
before,
lot,
and
because
you're
this isn't that
familiar
far
with
from
it.
you. I guess.
So this place has the distinction of being actually the last formal review I wrote for the Sun Sentinel.
Oh, wow.
Because it opened like in January of January of 20.
1968.
No,
when,
January
you broke in. Yeah.
of 2020. I came in here like a couple of months
I think Denny
later.
McClain won 31 that year.
So I wrote this review early March of 2020, right before the pandemic hit, and right before every restaurant in the world got closed down. And then I'd already kind of knew that I was going to be leaving and taking the buyout, leaving the paper.
Yeah.
And
how was that suggested to you, by the way? I mean,
well, yeah, wasn't I like that word suggested.
You don't have to go into
I have NDAs. I can't
Yeah,
get
exactly.
into it.
Don't get in trouble.
But I got a degree. I got a master's. I went to Tufts.
That's all right. Some places they give you a pink.
Did you ask for your mother? I mean, that's
some
usually
places it's a pink slip. They gave me a betting slip. They said, "Here, $200 at Gulfstream. Go."
There you go. Hey, better
You
than
have
nothing.
to act like you don't care in the radio business.
No,
You have
actually,
to, very
this-
cavalier. You go out like Hector Camacho.
It was complete my
after
choice. They
knocking
were
somebody
begging
out.
me not to go, and I wanted to go. It was time.
Oh, okay.
Because
All
you
right.
do 31 years.
Yeah.
It's like I did
okay.
my time. I did
Could have
sports.
done it down the block just
did-
as well.
It was. Let me
The
tell
Broward
you,
County Jail.
those years where you got to go up
Yeah.
to Tallahassee and cover the legislature and deal with the.
Oh, that
the,
was rough.
you know,
That
governors-
was a weird change that you made, though. I mean, the move from sports to news, I thought was a mistake. Getting into the food thing.
The food was
I mean,
the
look what
move.
it's done for
Yeah,
you.
the food
I mean,
was the
look
move.
where you are today. You couldn't have cashed in writing any more editorials, but you can eat and
Oh,
get
yeah,
paid.
forever.
It's unbelievable.
Forever.
It's
The
like
funny thing in that article, they said you were going with your dime now, and they don't realize that every place you go, now that you're in like electronic
now.
media,
You just do it on TV.
everything is free.
that's not
You
true.
expect the world
I
to
still
be free.
go. I pay my own way at many places, but when we were doing these kind of things,
Yeah.
obviously it's
Well, yeah.
promotional
Promotion,
value
yeah.
implied, and
What's
and
a couple
and,
of
and-
sandwiches
and
for
now it's
this?
become like a can you top this thing of like every proprietor wants to slaughter Mayo, and I heard you talking about you were afraid that I'm going to just keel over on air.
We're worried that you will be an on-air death.
It'd be like the
Really?
movie Network, right? You remember that Peter Finch
Yeah,
at the
of
end?
course.
He
I'm
goes
mad
in
as
his
hell.
last rant. It could be I'll just like start waving around roast beef
Yeah,
sandwiches.
exactly. That's my fear. Just holding
Shoveling food in your
sandwiches.
face as they carry you out in a body bag as if you would just bet the favorite in the derby.
So, speaking of shoveling food in their face, let's talk about Serena last night. Again, no body shaming. It's just that she's obviously
Yeah, moving on.
past her peak.
Yeah.
But this is her swan song. And you were just on your morning Defo show where the talk focuses on sports. You were being more cynical and grumpy
Very
than
negative.
me.
No, not at all.
Look, it was
Not
in
at all.
production last night.
I would
It's
totally
a
disagree with that.
schmaltzy affair.
Yeah.
Yes, they did load the deck, so they gave her the biggest, the biggest
they
cream puff.
handpicked this woman. It
Right.
was like Rocky Balboa in his comeback. The opponents weren't as handpicked as this. I mean, it was ridiculous. She was the only woman in the draw. I believe this to be true. The only woman in the draw that could have lost to Serena the way Serena played last night. She did show one brief flash of the Serena of old, which is probably all she was capable of mustering up. It'd be like Eddie Arcaro coming back from the grave and trying to ride a horse. Could you strap him on there and he stay on? Yeah, probably. But, I mean, she just isn't the same, which is fine. She's still playing, but, I mean, to trumpet this
So-
as if this was going to be something
Now,
spectacular, it was way off.
I agree and share your cynicism about the whole, the stacked deck and trying to put on a little schmaltzy farewell production, which is fine. And look, the atmosphere was electric. There's nothing better than the U.S. Open and night
Oh, it's
match.
great, yeah.
When
You've
you
been
get
there,
that
right?
crowd.
Did you ace out Bricker a couple of times?
No, I never
Okay.
covered it, but I've been in that stadium for the event a couple times
Oh,
when I
yeah?
was up in
Okay.
New York for other things, but I never actually covered it for the paper, but I've been inside the
Great
building.
crowd last night.
Great. It's
yeah.
electric, that atmosphere, all the celebrities. The issue I have to take with you from the morning comments is that you were
That she
saying
borrowed the outfit from the Iron Sheet.
no, that's
You were
absolutely
in
true.
agreement with that?
No,
That was
Fabulous
true.
that you
moolah.
called her a phony and a fake just because, people are multifaceted, and just because when she has her game face competitiveness on, that she can be a complete, kind
Piece
of a
of
little
work,
bit
yeah.
cantankerous with the linesmen and these poor.
You're going to be making
referees.
excuses for the
No,
Trumpsters
but-
soon. I mean, what is this?
Okay, first of all, don't use that name here. Second of all, All right, let me hit you with this analogy, okay?
Here's the thing.
No.
It goes
No,
deeper than
because
that.
yes, it's not.
You're going
right.
to take it back to the Byzantine
No,
Empire.
it's not. No. I'm taking it back to you at the racetrack and me at the racetrack. We love jockeys. We respect them. They're great athletes.
No doubt.
It's incredible.
Usually very good people also.
Yeah, great people. The ones that we know and we've met, we like them.
Yeah.
But tell me that in the middle of a race, when you're watching it and you have action on it, and somebody just burns into the first quarter in 21-2 and gets hooked in a speed duel, and your jockey, you haven't said things that maybe you would later regret if they
Exactly.
had.
It's all true. I'm not going to argue
you
that.
Pinhead, how could you go that fast?
You become increasingly more racist as your money is
That's
going
his
up in
big
smoke.
saying.
I've said this forever, and I believe it to be true. I mean, even though you don't mean it, I mean,
God.
you're not inherently a racist, but you start yelling things that
To me, it's not racist. It has to do with intelligence. I start calling him Pinhead and all kinds of other nasty.
assuming he's less intellectual
Yes,
than you are.
Because he's riding a horse.
Developmentally
How he rides a
disabled.
horse.
It's like, how could you think that going 8 wide into the first turn is the place to be? These are the things that me and you yell at jockeys who we otherwise like and respect. So I would cut Serena the same slack as when you're in the middle of the heat of competition. That she says
You
and
become
does
a
some
jerk?
things. Yes, that you
Well,
say.
is there
that's
different
not,
levels,
that's not
though?
where it ends, though, Mike Mayo. See, because you didn't, haven't been following this like I have. Now, I was a Serena fan.
Right.
The story is a brilliant story. Let's face it. As we were saying this morning, it's not like those courts in Compton were, right out of the Bollettieri Academy. I mean, the odds of her making it as a black woman and going through it in the background
and
the fashion
her
she
sister
did,
too.
and her sister, who
At the same
also,
time.
if there was no Serena,
She's a top 10 player ever.
would be considered one of the greats of all time as well, and should well be. And just came off as a little bit nicer. But there were a few things that just rubbed me the wrong way, and a lot of it had to do with the bitterness that she expressed. Now, okay, she hated losing, but you don't have to be. I mean, people are, very gracious in this sport.
She's a tooth
for the
and
most
nail
time.
competitor. And when you're at the heat, again,
She was
But
always
there's different
denouncing
levels
her
to me, like-
opponents and everybody else,
All right,
always
fine.
catching. And when things are going well, see, now you're a good guy. You've been, up and down. You understand it, being a degenerate gambler. You've had your long losing streaks, and you have to make your way through them. But you can't change. You have to be the same person. And I don't believe that she was.
Right.
And I thought that the uglier side was more of a reflection of where she was at than all of the sweetness and light that she professes. But to take nothing away, I mean, I'm one of the greatest athletes of all time, obviously a tremendous person in terms of willpower and drive to succeed, and also has done a lot of good outside of tennis and made a lot of money now on commercials, although I don't believe cheats at Subway. Now, she
She'd
was
eat
representing Top Round.
She'd eat here, yes.
I believe
Well,
that would be, more likely to be
what
true.
I want to pitch for her next chapter, and I think it should be Serena, Oprah, Gail King, and me should be the new spokespeople for Weight Watchers. I know Oprah is already on there.
Serena
They
is,
They should sign us
gotten
all
bigger.
up, and then it just it never matters what they look like because Oprah, whatever. But
Here's the other thing too. I mean, and you were a sports writer for many years, and these are good stories sometimes. Sometimes on the sad side, it's like Requiem for a heavyweight. So you're asking yourself, when you have a top athlete, at what point should they just kind of graciously walk away, realizing that they're not even the slightest replica of themselves?
so
And that's a question. Now, I don't have anything against somebody wanting to play. I would want to play to my grave, and that's fine. And you look at a guy like Andy Murray, and he's done a great job with that. But in this case, I mean, Serena coming back, she really doesn't have it. She was exhausted in the warm-ups. They were giving her a standing 8 count before she came out on the court last night. And honestly, against anybody else, she loses.
I don't want to say I'm in better shape than her, but
No.
but
You
I'm
guys are
not.
being-
But it would be quite the huffing
that would be
and
a
puffing
stretch. No,
contest.
you know what? That would be a stretch at this point. The same here. I mean,
Hey, I did my walk of
Yeah.
life this morning. I'm ready to eat some sandwiches, and we're here on the Lunchbox at Top Round. Look, when it comes to somebody of Serena's stature, especially in an individual sport, it's not like you're in a team sport where you might be dragging the team down because you're past your prime.
Yes.
She's entitled to whatever ending and however she wants the final
Yes.
chapter.
that's fine. I'm glad she won actually last
And this
night.
is it. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the dream.
The
She's gonna play
swan
some doubles with her sister in this
and say
open
farewell.
and play singles.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be one more match, right? And then
Probably loses next round.
Everybody will go boo hoo hoo and give her a big
Deserves
send-off.
the send off.
And it's great. She's great.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
an all-time great.
Deserves
And she's entitled to choose the manner of her departure.
But
just
it's like
I did at
Arnie
the
shooting
Sunset Home.
an 86
It's just
at
sad
the
to me.
Masters. Yeah.
To me, it's just sad.
Remember when I used to wheel
Well,
Arnie
it's-
out there? You covered a lot of Masters. And you were like, okay, it's great, it's Arnie. But, and he gives it the thing. And you're like, where's this ball? And it's like deep in the woods.
It's besides the point. The scorecard, the number, it's all besides the point. It's just getting to soak in the aura one last time.
Willie Mays with the swinging
Arnie's Army marching up one
and
last
aging
time.
Archie Moore getting knocked out by
No,
Marciano.
and you know what? Those are poignant, touching moments. I actually saw Arnold's last British Open at St. Andrews, where he walks across. Oh, Stacy's here. Come on, bring on in the sandwiches. This is Stacy, one of the proprietors
hello,
here.
Stacy. Oh my God, look at this.
We're
Lubie,
ready
that's
for
sick.
the dispensing of the sandwiches and sides.
Wow.
Here at Top Round. I think
you're going to do the usual thing?
I was ready for a break so we can
no.
bring
Yeah,
Dave
you know what?
on.
We're going to get Dave on. Let's do, let me just say a few words about our friends with
Visit
Visit Lauderdale.
Lauderdale.
Again, it's Dine Out Lauderdale month at some of the top
man.
restaurants in town.
Oh,
my
Mayo.
God. Here we go. Look at that. It's
I
a
told
tuna
you,
melt.
Defo.
Tuna melt for Defo.
Tuna melt
We
in
got-
there. Wow, look at this
Oh, that's
roast
the beef. These are the two roast beef babies.
Oh, my
And you know what?
This is
Do you have a
ridiculous.
knife? Because they don't like it when I hog the whole sandwich. So I'm going to have to cut it up.
Got a
And,
piece of it. And don't put your hand over the
and
entire
this
top
looks
either.
like we got like some sort of
What? That
loaded
is
cheese
loaded-
curd fries or something. Oh, thank you so much, Stacy.
Those look like
And we're gonna
French
we're
fries,
gonna get Dave on here
Yeah, I'd
after
like to get
lunch.
Dave on.
This smells good.
It's slow down a little bit. He has a
Smells
moment
good.
to come on. And
And good, we got napkins because
Talk
we
about-
always
Very important,
we never like to make a mess.
amazing establishment.
Top round here, yeah, we've got all the roast
Can you
beef and the
identify all of the stuff? I mean, from
tuna melt, which
is that
I've
a
never
chili
touched in my
cheese
life.
dog?
I don't get this here.
Chili cheese dog.
Let's do this.
This is the buffalo chicken sandwich. This is the loaded tater tots.
Loaded tots.
This is the cheese curd fries with onions and special sauce. Beef on weck. That's the buffalo specialty with
nice.
the camel wet bun with the caraway seeds and salt on top with a
Nice.
little au jus dipping sauce. That's the horse and whole roast beef sandwich that has a special horseradish cream sauce
Looks
along with is that Provo? No, roasted mushrooms, Provo cheeses on there on a sesame seeded bun. This is the pastrami burger. That is outstanding. Also with the Provo cheese.
Nice.
We've got some work to do after. Yeah. Tilt it around there.
I just want to look at this.
Yeah,
thing.
there you
Wow,
go.
look at
pastrami.
that.
That's
That's
Lubie.
ridiculous.
Does that count as a sandwich or not?
I don't know anymore.
You know what? We'll put it on.
Yeah,
the
they threw
list.
pastrami on it,
Yeah.
so why not?
All of these
44,
will constitute
45,
sandwiches.
46.
Yeah, all of these.
Maybe 47, maybe 48.
Yeah.
I don't know if a hot dog
No.
49. We got to save some room for tomorrow because we're going to
So
be
48.
At
After this, you'll be at 48. We'll give you four. We'll
Give
give
you
you
48.
5. We'll give you 5
So
sandwiches.
I'll go into tomorrow at La Spada's in Lauderdale by the Sea, where we're going to have the thrilling
Finishing strong.
climax
Just pad it, yeah.
of Sandwich Month, where
You're
I
a
could
closer.
I will be going over 50.
Yeah.
And thank God it's ending so that you can embrace the Visit Lauderdale month where
Yes.
you'll eat
There you go.
much
I'll
healthier food.
a little bit
Dale,
more
has
refined.
brought
And a different level.
scale out
And
there
they
also.
have healthy food here.
Yeah.
They have the
They do.
buffalo
But
cauliflower.
you're not eating any
I
of
see
it.
some salad
constantly.
on the
You
menu.
didn't order any of that.
No.
I noticed.
No,
yeah.
for Sandwich Month, I'm going heavy on the beef because
But
that's how I roll. But yes, good
Lauderdale.
segue. Lauderdale
Deals,
deals. September, I will be
They
eating.
put food in front of him, and he
And
totally loses it. Yeah,
Well, look
it's
at the
amazing.
restraint. I haven't
You've
dived
done
into
well.
anything
Different
yet.
guy.
Is it weird that the first thing I actually want to go into is the tuna melt? Defo is
Because
rubbing
Defo's
off
talked so
on
much
me.
crap about
I
it.
mean, I'm all in on the
Getting
roast beef,
older.
I think.
But so yes, Dine Out Lauderdale.
Dine Out
All
Lauderdale.
month of September, it's ongoing. Some of the top restaurants in town are signed up with the Visit Lauderdale folks, where you can get these great 3- and 4-course meals at some of the best restaurants in town. Impeccable service, great views. Places like Evelyn's at the Four Seasons Resort on Fort Lauderdale Beach, Dune by Laurent Torrandel, great place on Fort Lauderdale Beach. They're taking part in it, along places along Las Olas. Planta Queen has vegan food, upscale vegan food. Casa Sensei, Wild OC, the seafood restaurant at the Riverside Hotel. All kinds of great spots.
Carolyn Oliver, man.
3 and 4.
Cafe
Yeah,
Max.
Cafe Max,
Wow.
Cooking the Cork up in Coral Springs. Toro down near me and Dania at the Meridian Hotel, upscale Latin American cuisine. All these places available. Dine Out Lauderdale. Go to visitlauderdale.com/deals to check out all the different menus, all the different participating restaurants. 3-course meals as low as $35. 4-course meals, $45. Great stuff. We're going to be availing ourselves. Maybe we're going to have to take the boys out.
Well, I think that's the
treat
move. Is I know we're not working directly with Nikki every week, but we're doing this, right? We're finding places to go
call
out.
in. We're going to do the Thursdays.
But I'd like for us, to explore some of these places, maybe do some shows there, talk to them.
We'll do some homework assignments. We'll each go to some of these Dine Out Lauderdales, and then we'll do a little report on the show. We'll give, honest feedback.
Yeah.
And again, usually, honestly, most of these places are great. So it's... Again, visit Lauderdale.com/deals. Check out all the Dine Out Lauderdale. And don't forget the regular Lauderdale deals are ongoing all September long, like the great spa deals at the resorts and hotels ongoing, and also some good packages at these resorts. You can have a little staycation. Check it out. Lauderdale's at visit Lauderdale.com/deals. And we'll be back.
It's good. Now you're going to have the proprietor on here, right?
Yes.
And obviously they've done a tremendous job.
You should get Dave on here.
Yes.
You see how happy people are when their number or name gets called?
Yeah.
I mean, wow, they leap like they just went on Let's Make a Deal. It's fantastic, and the food looks fantastic. So we're coming back with learn more about Top Round here in Fort Lauderdale in a moment.
For a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo here for Kosta's Greek Eatery and Pizzeria. If you want to take a trip to the Aegean without getting on a plane and no need for a passport, just go up to 1940 Northeast 49th Street in Pompano Beach, just west of Federal Highway, just a little bit north of Sample Road, and you will be transported to Greece along with a New York-style pizzeria. They do it both so well. They got Greek specialties like gyros and souvlaki and the grape leaves and the spinach pie, and also great New York thin, crisp New York-style Greek pizza with pepperoni. Don't miss that one. And, of course, spinach and gorgonzola. Kosta is a great guy. He'll smash a plate, say Opa, and greet and treat you like family. Go to Kosta's. It's open every day for lunch and dinner. Tell him the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you.
On the Lunchbox, and trying to get Dave situated. We got Defo on the side. We're surrounded by sandwiches at Top Round here in Fort Lauderdale, corner of Federal Highway, US 1 and Broward Boulevard. What's up, Dave? Get your headset on there. I can't believe the first bite I'm having out of this whole array of sandwiches. In honor of my co-host, Jeff Defo DeForest, he loves a good tuna melt. I usually don't eat tuna sandwiches. I usually never eat tuna melts, but I got to tell you, this is darn good. It's tasty.
He's finally coming around. Well, Mike Mayo.
Welcome to the Lunchbox, Dave Chissell.
Thank you.
How are you today, and how are things going?
Things are chugging along. We, as everyone knows, we opened 4 weeks before COVID, so it was an uphill battle after the first month.
Perfect timing. No, that's great. You know what, though? I noticed this right away when I looked at the menu board there, and we've been to a lot of different places, and they're all very fine, but did you forget to put a 1 like in front of some of these prices? Because
you sound like my wife.
Extremely reasonable. I mean, for the quality, and obviously we had heard rave reviews about the food and all the variety and the quality, and it looks fantastic. But how are you able to maintain this, keeping the prices down like this?
Well, the menu is 16 and a half feet wide, wallpapered on the wall. So
yeah,
to change the prices is a little task. So, so I guess the customer's really actually been the one to have the home field advantage on this.
The missus hasn't gone ahead and gotten the magic marker out a couple of times.
You know what? I either I do it or I don't do it.
The Trump Sharpie. He gets the Trump Sharpie out and start
But I'm just not a Sharpie guy. Otherwise, you would see that attitude in the reflection of the food.
I got to give you props. First of all, Dave and I go way back, and we were talking on the first segment, but the last formal review that I did for the Sun Sentinel was of Top Round because it was right before the pandemic hit. And then I left the paper and all the restaurants shut down anyway. And but I obviously gave you a positive, glowing review because it, the humble roast beef sandwich doesn't get a lot of love. It wasn't as hot as the the hot chicken Nashville chicken sandwiches, but you've got all these sandwiches on the board.
Right. There was a chicken war.
Yeah.
And I think that you'll still see a little bit of that chicken war still present.
And you also then brought in your own roots. I know this is like a franchise that you fell in love with, and the bread and butter is the roast beef sandwiches, and they're excellent. But then you also brought a little bit of your own kind of home traditional cooking from, the Jewish deli side.
I think I had to honor my parents and our deli background.
So you've got what else on the specials board here? You've got
the franchise brought us the pastrami burger, but they weren't using a navel cut pastrami. So when I came on board, immediately I said, "Okay, guys, wait a minute. We have to use a navel cut pastrami. It's got to be steamed out. It's got to be sliced right,
proper."
And it can't sit in a steam table. It's got to be sliced to order. You want to grill it off a little bit before we put it on the 80/20 Angus beef patty. I'll succumb to that because in my world, and you as a young man always knew our pastrami to come out of a steam box, and whether it was hand sliced or deli sliced, that's not really the big issue. It was just how it was steamed out and rendered down. For that flavor profile.
Yeah, and it's proper. I mean, when I took a bite of your pastrami, and again, I'm usually not a big double meat burger fan, but you sent me that pastrami burger. Actually, I think I came out with Evan Darnell from the Red Meat Lovers Club, and he insisted that I try it, and I took a bite, and I was like, oh, wow, this works, because the pastrami is it works like a bacon,
Exactly.
On a tomato.
So as I explain to people who are not learned in pastrami, I say, the bacon to the hog is what the navel cut pastrami is to the steer.
Right.
And that came from sitting down with Cy Ginsberg here in the store a few times. So it is a great beef on beef alternative to somebody who wants, that smokiness of the bacon, but they don't need a pork product. So,
and Cy Ginsberg is a kind of Midwestern Detroit-based deli man who
the big macha.
He's the big macha of the Midwest, and his cuts of deli meat. A lot of people in the Northeast aren't familiar maybe with it, but more familiar with the Carnegie brand that's now been widely distributed. Katz's,
right.
But Cy Ginsberg, again, their navel cut is excellent. Hey, I just want to go back to, because when you first opened, you did get a little blowback about the prices being high. And what I really admire now is that you've kept the prices the same, like for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And whereas, again, all the inflation and other
50% inflation.
Right. And you've kept it down. I don't know how you're doing it. All I know is that now all the people who were complaining before, can you please come in here and say, oh my God, what a great value. These sandwiches are stacked with good, freshly made beef every day, Angus, and it's a great deal. It's a great value.
Listen, it's a task in itself just to take the roast beef, trim it, dry rub it, age it, cook it 8 to 10 hours every day in the store, slice it to order. That in itself, the au jus to dip or sip, as my brother would say, it's a task. It's labor intensive, but it's a labor of love.
Oh, that's
and getting back to what you were saying earlier, they have the pastrami on the pastrami burger. So I said, okay, so if we're going to have pastrami, I want to serve a pastrami sandwich. And then if we're going to have a pastrami sandwich, of course, I have to have the Rachel. Now, the argument with the Rachel is some people say Rachel's a turkey product. Some people say it's a pastrami product. Rachel's just the brother of the Reuben. And I said to myself, well, if I have a Rachel, I can't not have a Reuben. So, of course, I just had to bring in the one extra cut of beef, the corned beef. And so we honor our deli background with the pastrami on rye, or our onion roll, the corned beef on rye or onion roll, the Rachel, the Reuben, the tuna melt. And it just pairs so well with the milkshakes and the fries and the tots.
Right. We haven't even got into the whole the custards and the soft serve and all that stuff that you have here, all the flavors. That's like, you got to save room for the dessert. Do you like those kind of confections? The shakes?
Who doesn't? I mean, grew up with that. Like I said, the Briar Patch in Brooklyn, New York. They made the shakes there, and the sodas, with the syrup and everything, and had all kinds of different stuff. I'm curious about this because anything that looks like this, I want to try.
Okay, disco fries back in the day.
Yeah, okay.
In Jersey, disco fries, but and then also the Canadians like their poutine and gravy. So we have dirty fries. So the dirty fries have the Provel cheese on it. So Provel is dear to the hearts of everyone from the St. Louis community, or Chesterfield in the outskirts of St. Louis. But Provel is a blended white cheese that the Hoffman family came up with, and it's provolone, Swiss, and white cheddar. Been around for a very, very long time. And you order a pizza and you get an argument in St. Louis. What are you doing putting that cheese on a pizza?
Is it that they call it the brick pizza or something like that, or is it? I don't know. It's just St. Louis style pizza.
It's a St. Louis style pizza, but and some places you go and you actually see the square pieces of cheese sitting on top of the pizza versus a shredded product. We find it very creamy, very smooth. It melts very nice, and it just has those subtle hints of the flavoring of the Provel, the Swiss, and the white cheddar. You add the beef gravy that we make in-house from scratch, using the roast beef ends, and our round sauce that we craft here with some caramelized onions. It's almost like a little meal in itself. It's a party.
If I was going in a chair, that would be it right there.
Let Defo have it. And I can't help myself, Dave. I'm going to honor you now, but I have to take this is my favorite sandwich here. It's called the Horse and Hole. Can you explain to people what the Horse and Hole is as I stuff my face with it, because I cannot resist. It looks so good.
Funny, people, just when they read the name, they get a little nervous. They're horse. Oh, my God. I go, the horse is for horseradish, which is in the horseradish cream. Again, another sauce that we make here. And so you have the horseradish cream, and that's represented in the name, but also the whole. So we just talked about Provel cheese. Provel cheese is on the sandwich. So the whole is the whole of the Swiss cheese component of the Provel. So it kind of makes sense that it's like your mushroom Swiss kind of esque, it has that essence of that mushroom Swiss, profile that so many people work with and enjoy.
And it's so good because it's got that horseradish cream on it. And again, for people who want like the full spikiness of a horseradish, you could always
beef on weck with the atomic.
But you could always ask for the atomic horseradish on the side. You'll give them a little bit so it gets that extra zing. But the beef on weck, explain for people who've never been to Buffalo what that is.
Okay, so it is all about Buffalo, unless you're from Tonawanda or Rochester, and then you'll argue that. But so the whole story behind beef on weck is very simple. A baker migrates from Germany and brings his recipes to Buffalo, and he brings the Kimmelwick roll. Now it's shortened and coined as weck, and basically what it is, it's pretzel salt and caraway seeds. The caraway seeds is something you'll find, little brown banana-shaped seed that you find in a Jewish rye bread. The mixture of the salt and the caraway seed, it's a little dynamic. We always let the customer ask, or we recommend a complimentary side of au jus, because all the roast beef sandwiches have a drizzle on it, but the beef on weck in particular, you want to dip because it helps melt some of the salt away, and it's very, very flavorful. But like a bagel here in South Florida, you can't get a salt bagel after 12 noon because it sweats, because the humidity in South Florida is terrible. So we make our weck rolls all day long because the salt won't hold up. I think at one time even Publix was selling weck rolls, but again, by noon it was a wet bag.
Fascinating stuff. The detail, behind this place is also extraordinary.
But that's, four food executives, two celebrity chefs, and two other guys within the industry, all four buddies, got together 7 years ago, opened up on a street corner in L.A. They didn't know what they were going to do.
Yeah.
One had some background from Buffalo, one had some background from St. Louis, and you see those essence. And then, of course, with me, the New Jersey deli boy, growing up in South Florida, slaving at Tabachnik's for my mom and dad.
The most positive of influences, I would have to say.
People come in and they go, "You have frozen chicken matzo ball soup?" I go, "Yeah, I make 80 quarts at a time. It's like a bathtub full of, And I have people just walk in, "Can I get 6 soups?" And then they leave. I go, "Well, could you try a sandwich?"
Yeah.
But they
well, you got the right guy here.
No, I know, and he's
on a mission.
He's hooked me up with some of that soup before. My mom loves it, so I'm gonna have to leave here with another quart of the matzo ball soup. It's very proper,
nice
schmaltz in there. You got that good,
yeah.
You got a good chicken soup when it's kind of like that jelly texture when it's
the menu fridge, here. I mentioned earlier 16 and a half feet of wallpaper, which not easy to change out, but the menu here is so diverse because you have the beef, you have the chicken, you have the burgers. We have a Cuban where we actually oven roast.
And it's excellent. Yeah, I've had that.
It's not a shredded leftover scrap pork sandwich. It's a nice sliced mojo infused pork.
Mayo or no mayo? Not this mayo.
Well, mayo and or mustard.
Okay, there you go. And or mustard.
And you can
I like
hold
that,
the mayo because that's one of my
That's
things.
one of his things.
I'm
yeah.
a self-hating condiment.
Yeah.
I don't like myself. On
And
nights.
it's funny. I can't live
He
without
loathes
Hellman's.
mayo, yeah.
I can't
See,
live without.
he's Hellman's.
I can't live without my mayo.
He's Hellman's. I don't know. You Dukes.
I've switched over to Dukes over the years.
You've been
come
living in the
on.
South too long.
You're a Southerner.
Hellman's is the one and only.
We had a friend that we called the Duke, so I thought it was his brand of mayonnaise.
There you go.
We started buying it, and it's
So-
okay.
We're here at Top Round, downtown Fort Lauderdale, corner of Broward and Federal. Come on out here
Great
with
spot.
Dave
Wow, great spot.
Chesal, who's again the owner proprietor. I'm so glad that you guys have weathered the storm of COVID. People are streaming in here at lunchtime. You're also on the delivery apps, right? You do a big
Uber
delivery.
Eats, Grubhub, Delivery Dudes, DoorDash, Postmates.
Is that what got you through basically the pandemic?
I wouldn't say that. I think it was just guerrilla marketing and just the tenacity of my wife saying we're never going to close. I don't care if you and the cook close and wait for the one or two people to walk in the door. And
it's true. He was here all the time, and every time I would drop by, he'd be here, and that's what.
Catering, you do catering also, big orders. I would
it's
imagine,
funny
yeah?
because I've catered everything from a bris to 1-year-old birthday parties. Happen to be very popular because we take all these sandwiches and we make them in a slider version.
Oh,
so I
sweet.
have one guy for every Buffalo football game. He comes in and he buys 36 or 72 beef on wax sliders. And he goes, "Oh, you better make half with the horseradish and half without because not everyone can handle the atomic horseradish." But he is a true diehard Buffalo fan, and we see that Buffalo crowd come in. But you got to remember, 7 years ago when they opened the store, it was top round roast beef, and it scared away a large crowd.
Right, you got to diversify, and you have a diversified.
So we
menu.
have the Gardein chicken, we have the Beyond Beef, we have the plant-based options. I really should have made you a buffalo cauliflower sandwich, which is ridiculously good.
Oh yeah, wow.
But there's something for everybody. We have this, we've added a bunch of seafood product to the menu.
Yeah, I see you've got like a shrimp po' boy now, and
we
you
have a
got some
shrimp po'
fried
boy.
clams and.
Calamari.
But let me ask you, how much of the business, when people come in here, how many sandwiches are
the
roast
center
beef?
of our plate? Make no mistake, is the roast beef.
40-50% of the.
I would probably even say 70% of.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
that's the bread and butter, and there's a good reason for it because this thing is like butter.
Well, that's
so good. I'm
the
just
brioche
chowing down.
bun with the clarified butter. So we really try to elevate every ingredient. Roasting the mushrooms, caramelizing the onions.
He's suddenly finished off already 2 sandwiches here.
Well, that's okay.
Acting like
he's only got
eating
like
it
6
one
more to
bite at
go.
a time. Yeah. It's great. Excellent stuff.
I
All the
can't
way around.
resist.
And the hours, you're open 7 days? Or?
7 days.
Wow.
There's not a day I'm not here. 7 days a week. We open at 11 and we run to 10 p.m. every night for a late night custard. Because being downtown, it's a good after Netflix
Nice.
opportunity. We are just getting ready to launch breakfast, and I think
really?
we're going to start it
Wow.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings, and everything from all the breakfast sandwiches to French toast bites to a bialy with some Nova. Just a nice little array. Obviously, for the younger audience, the avocado toast is a must. So
Instead of chicken and waffles, how about roast beef and waffles?
there
Maybe
you
do
go.
something different.
I have steak and egg.
Steak and eggs. We
There
could
you
do
go.
how about a pastrami eggs Benedict?
Let's write all this down. We'll have all the listeners and viewers just chime in and say,
And
listen.
yeah, you can say hi to the folks on Let's Eat South Florida. I know that was Let's Eat was a Top Round was a big favorite among many of the members there for a while, and I know again, it's just great that you're still chugging along here. It's so good to see life here on the Lunchbox lunch hour at a downtown Fort Lauderdale store with people just streaming in and picking up their lunch sandwiches.
And remember, pre-COVID, there was a line to the door and across the sidewalk, but with everyone working remote in Sunrise and Plantation and Margate and Lauderhill and Hollywood and wherever they live, they're not migrating to these offices down in downtown.
And I've just spotted on the board, the rotating board, you now have a Frito Pie Sandwich.
So in the Dallas State Fair, in Dallas at the Texas State Fair, it actually won an award. We take our barbecue sandwich, we put the cheese whiz, the onion, and we
Chili.
put Frito corn chips on it, and It's shockingly good.
All right, I'm gonna have to try that. That might have to be like sandwich number 60 after I get done with everything tomorrow. Hey, Dave, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
We're out of
Gentlemen.
time. I appreciate all the generosity and the friendship, and yeah, it's great. So, again, top round coming out, roast beef, so much more, and we're gonna take a break, and we'll be back after these words on the Lunchbox.
Come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. And there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. From our friends at Visit Lauderdale and Lauderdeals, don't miss Dine Out Lauderdale during August and September in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Dozens of top restaurants are offering amazing 3- and 4-course meals starting at just $35. See all the Dine Out Lauderdale menus from more than 50 participating restaurants online at visitlauderdale.com/deals. More taste sensations are being added daily, so plan your culinary adventure to Greater Fort Lauderdale and get your taste of the good life for less. Dig in now at visitlauderdale.com/deals. Pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
We're back on the Lunchbox.
Barely, man. We're still chowing.
My mouth is full. I've completely broken down Defo. It's a wonderful site.
This is nice. This is a nice combination. You know what? When we got the description of how they took so much care and time in preparation of all of this stuff and the roast beef, the way they prepare everything, a total difference from most places that you would go, and it's really reflected in the taste that you get.
No, David and Stacy, they do a top-notch job here. They have a good crew working top round. Downtown Fort Lauderdale. Look at that. My Svengali is here.
Oh,
my
Svengali.
He says eat sandwiches.
Sarni,
the
he started you on his sordid path.
Mascot. Sarni, Miss Kathy Laughlin, the Sun Sentinel sports editor, was in here picking up a little lunch before the show. It was good to see Kathy.
You notice he only shows up at the end there to see the end result, the catastrophic
Sarni
result.
is what we call a lurker. I think he watches the show on his phone in the car.
Yeah.
And then he shows up at the end because he knows it's kind of like the
There'll be leftovers.
What's the fish that swim alongside the sharks that kind of pick up the pilot fish? They get the scraps that are flowing off the mouths of the great whites.
These
like,
scraps are going to be
Yeah.
very, very tasty for anybody that comes in here after us and cleans up this. I mean, this is fantastic.
this is tremendous. I can't believe I started with the tuna melt. I guess I'm getting old. I like a tuna melt now. That tastes really good.
There's nothing wrong
These
with
are
tuna
right
toast.
biased opinions about tuna fish in general.
I
but,
never understood the allure of like hot melted cheese on top
tastes
of
good.
tuna.
But, you haven't opened your mind to new things. So you're stuck in your ways. It happens with old farts. It really does. I mean, believe me, I experienced some of that.
And how good is this horse and whole? That roast beef
That
with
is
the
great.
Provolone
Yeah.
cheese and the horseradish cream sauce
And these wild fries, which has
disco
so many
fries.
different things on them. Absolutely great, man.
He's got the loaded tater tots that I took a couple of bites with. I'm slowing down.
What about that chili cheese dog?
This
You didn't
might
get
be
into
the big one.
I
I'm
cut it
coming.
into
I'm coming
three.
for you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Very
afraid.
That's my
I
fear.
think it's just heartburn and not hopefully a
Yeah.
heart attack. But no, it's great.
It all ends tomorrow too. I mean, at least this
thank
month
God.
of whatever it is for, some
Gluttony.
kind of sandwich marathon that Mike Mayo's been on at Las Palmas Original Hoagies.
And there's no better place to
Lauderdale by the
wrap
Sea.
it up.
Wow.
And I'm really looking forward to that. And whoever comes on the air to describe the whole story of Las Palmas, and obviously, I think it started in Pennsylvania, and now Gail and family brought it to
Gail and
South
Harry,
Florida.
yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that. You know what I'm doing after tomorrow's show, after the sandwiches?
I hope you're checking into an emergency.
Well, actually, I'm on a crazy eating binge. Today I'm going to Tropical Acres with the family because my daughter
Nice.
starts school tomorrow. And it's a tradition. We always have a nice Tropical Acres steak lobster dinner before she starts school. Tomorrow night, I'm going back to Il Paesano for the pasta cheese wheel dinner. But after the sandwiches get finished tomorrow, Thursday through Monday, nothing but fasting and gambling. I'm just going to do
That's
a liquid diet.
All right.
That's what I say now. I'll probably be eating with Dixie.
No, you know what? You know how it goes with those poker games, right? It gets into like a malaise there where really nothing's happening. Nobody's putting any money in the pot. Now all of a sudden you start thinking about, hey, can I get a menu? Then you got one of those girls giving you the massage there, which is always
Next
kind
thing
of
you
a weird
know, I'm
thing.
ordering a pizza from Jet's Pizza, which we didn't get into. I posted about it on the group this
You
morning.
like that place?
I
Yeah.
love Jet's
All right.
Pizza, the four-corner Detroit style. We're talking. We've gone Midwestern today between the Provolone cheese from St. Louis, and then I went with the Jet's Pizza last night, four-corner square Detroit style pizza. I love it. Most of the people on the Facebook group who've tried it like it. Some detractors there, but
How's it comparing with Little Caesars? Which was
much
the
better.
original,
I hate
Detroit?
chain pizza as a
Yeah,
rule, but
yeah.
the exception to the rule is Jet's Pizza. You get only the Detroit style four-corner, eight-corner square. It's terrific stuff. I guess that's going to do it for today.
Had a lot of fun. out here.
Had a lot
Thanks.
of fun. Great
Yeah.
to see some people come on out. Again, thanks to Dave and Stacy at Top Round at the corner of Broward and Federal in Fort Lauderdale. They're here every day, and we'll be back tomorrow at noon for the final big
Sandwich send-off, you could call it, yeah.
send-off
Yeah.
at Las Patas Original Hoagies in Lauderdale by the Sea on Commercial Boulevard. We'll see you out there tomorrow at 12. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to enjoy every sandwich.